Hey folks, hey folks, Scott from IT Rockstars. Hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to go over a little bit of a LinkedIn automation tool. It's called Dripify. I'm going to show you one of the automations that we've set up recently here at IT Rockstars, and it's something that you potentially would want to implement in your business. Before we get into it though, it's worth stating that if you're using LinkedIn just now, you will know how much automation spam there is out there at the moment. So what we intend to do in this video is show you another way that you can use LinkedIn automations so it's not spam, basically. Okay, so that's what we're going to get into. I'm going to get into the tool and show you the sequence, and you can implement this in your IT business fairly quickly. It's worth pointing out at this stage, if you're not already a member at IT Rockstars, check us out. We've got a 1-month free trial over at itrockstars.net, where you can find out more about how to do stuff like this, what I'm going to show you, go into even more detail. So let me bring up my screen here. 2 seconds. That's not the right screen. That's my main desktop. Technology. There we go, that's better. Okay, I'll zoom in a little bit. So we're logged into one of our VA accounts, and we've just set this up. Dripify is the tool of choice at the moment. I've heard of a few lead gen companies using this out in the MSP space, and I thought I'd check it out. It's very much a first venture into LinkedIn automation. I've done LinkedIn automation once before, but it was very low touch. It was just to get data. It wasn't interacting in any way with LinkedIn. This is slightly different though, because there's an element of outreach. So it's similar to other automations tools that you might have seen when it comes to marketing. You can set up sequences within the automations with wait periods and then actions, and then there's a bit of logic as well depending on if the contact creates an action. But one of the first things that you have to do with Dripify is actually give it a list of prospects and potential leads that would be interested or that you want to interact with on the service. Now there's a number of ways that you can do that. You can do a basic search on LinkedIn, but what I've done, and I'll show you in this example, I've pulled up here, basically there's a company in the States called CMIT Solutions. It's a bit like a franchise for managed service providers, and there's around about 400 employees. They're employees, but they're actually IT business owners. And for us here at IT Rockstars, we help IT business owners. So we're obviously looking for IT business owners. Obviously, you provide IT services. So the types of prospects that you'd be looking for, you can drill down into Sales Navigator and find you can create a search list based on things like their location, the industry, the headcount of the company, which is really important. And also one that's always overlooked is the keywords within a profile. So there's a particular maybe piece of software that you help support. Maybe you're working with accountants and you're really good at rectifying issues with Sage data files. Then you would look for, the word Sage, products related to Sage within the keywords, and that's going to bring back a list of prospects in your local area or in a particular niche that you'd be able to help. And you get a list like this basically. So there's like 400 people on this list. This is all public data that you're seeing here, so I'm not breaking any rules with GDPR or anything like this. If you do a search on LinkedIn, this is what you'll see. This is the people that you'll see that work for this company. But what I've done with this is you basically take the URL at the top once you've kind of filtered your search, and then you plug it into Dripify. And Dripify, this is the campaign that we've set up. What we're doing in this campaign, we do connection requests, but before we do a connection request, we're actually just viewing their profile. So you'll know that when you're on LinkedIn, and if someone else is on your profile, you get a notification, usually an email or in your notification, such and such has viewed your profile. I've turned that off in mine because it was just annoying more than anything else. But that's one of the things that, from a not from a marketing perspective, but just from an awareness of the person. So if it's someone coming cold in, like our VA here, she doesn't, none of these people know who she is. So we don't want to immediately connect with that person. We want to kind of just gradually ease the conversation in so that we're not just bombarding them with nonsense, basically. So we view the profile, then we wait 2 days, then we like a piece of their content. So if they're posting on LinkedIn, we actually, this tool will like a post, a piece of content that they're posting out. So if they've got a newsletter, if they've just posted something about their company in some way, this tool will automatically like the post. And again, it means that Jennifer here is going to pop up in that person's timeline, and they're going to be aware of Jennifer again. So over that sort of 3-day period, they're going to see the profile view, and then they're going to see the post like. So that's the element of, okay, potentially that connection will then go over and see who Jennifer actually is, who she works for. And that's when they maybe get a little bit understanding about IT Rockstars and what we do. At that point, that's when we send the invitation. Okay, so there's different things that you can do at this point from a logic perspective in Dripify. So you can, if the person doesn't accept the invitation, do some other action. You know, there are multiple actions that you can do within this tool. Or if they do accept an invitation, you potentially actually want to send them a message. Now, the way that we've done this is, if they don't accept the invitation, we just kill the sequence. You know, we're not going to hammer that contact anymore. We're not going to spam them to death with stuff. We just stop the automation there on that contact. So we've literally just asked for a connection request. That is it, nothing else. We haven't even sent them a message, okay, on that connection request. And I've found through, you know, the 3.5 years that I've been using LinkedIn and doing these sort of connection requests with people that I potentially don't know, I find that you're actually get a higher chance if you know the person, obviously, but if you don't, if you're coming in completely cold, have absolutely no message at all. And if they like what they see in your profile, if they are a target prospect for you and it's a match, they're going to connect with you. So, you know, that's another note here, is make sure your profile is is written in a way that speaks to your prospects, the people that you actually want to do business with. You've got far more likelihood of actually connecting. What we've got here is, if they do accept, we wait a week. So we're not going to immediately just send them a message and go, hey, give me your business. We should really work together. I can really help you. We're not doing anything like that here. We wait a week. And in that week, what is happening on that person's timeline is they start to see your content. So we have a tool at IT Rockstars that we suggest that all of our members use. It's called Missing Letter. And it's a really cool tool because it basically posts up content that's curated from your actual blogs, from your blog posts. So if you're a member at IT Rockstars, you get access to our blogs and our white label content. But it means that prospect starts to see your content, no one else's content, your content, and that will pop up in their timeline. So over the course of a week, there's a really good chance that they're going to see some of these posts that are coming out from the Missing Letter tool that takes them back to your website, and they potentially will even interact with your website. At that stage, after that week, we send them a message. And what we say in the message, I'm not going to go into the actual message here. You can learn more about that in our membership. But it's nothing to do with sales or, you know, let's catch up, let's have a meeting, let's schedule a meeting. Nothing like that. We are offering value within this message. So when I say value, something of use to them that they will actually find useful. It just so happens, one of the things that a lot of our members find useful and a lot of our non-members find useful is our Facebook group. So we have a Facebook group. It's called the MSP Marketing Lab, and it's where we run experiments like this. And it is very useful. There's quite a lot of interaction within that group. We've got, it's a smaller group. We don't have many within it, but the ones that are there do get a lot of value from it. So have a think about, in the message that you would potentially construct, to this fairly cool prospect that's maybe operates in the niche that you're trying to do business in, or you are doing business in, or you're in a local area, what you would actually say within that message that's something valuable. Okay, so there's different ways that you can play that. So we've obviously got a Facebook group, and we have actually a whole instruction manual on how to create your own Facebook group and attract local businesses into it. But there are other useful value adding things that you can be doing in the message. So to give you another example, it could potentially be a lead magnet, something they would find really useful for. So we gave that example back at the start of this video where I said, if it, the keyword side of things, if it was Sage that you were helping people with, that was the type of prospects you were looking to help with, it'd maybe be like the top 10 things to do with Sage to make it run faster from an IT perspective, stuff like that, like little tweaks. So have a think about lead magnets that you potentially offer. And again, this is something that we offer in IT Rockstars, is lead magnets for IT businesses, so that you could potentially use the lead magnet as just messaging them saying, hey, we put this together, we think you'd find it really useful, here you go. And that's it. You're not asking for anything else. Obviously, what I've shown you in our Dripify sequence goes to a Facebook group, and there are some pretty cool things that you can do in Facebook. I like Facebook because of its retargeting. Once that user is in the Facebook group, and if they're looking at videos that we're producing or any of the content that we're posting out into that group, obviously the algorithm takes over and they'll start to see more of that content. But you can actually pay Facebook to show them more content, so you can do your promoted posts and things like that to people that are in your group or people that have seen your content. So it can be really useful to get in front of your prospects. And if you design your content in a way that's not just asking for a sale, but it's actually really helpful, like what I'm attempting to do here, hopefully you found it helpful. You find that it's a far higher chance of actually being able to follow up with them further down in your marketing and sales funnel, whatever that might look like. And that's something that we're building here at IT Rockstars. We are one of our sort of newer things that we're adding into our membership over the next few weeks is helping people design their own marketing and sales process, because we found that you've got all the marketing material, you've got the sales expertise there, but it's putting the whole thing together to make it work. That's one of the reasons why we're here to help transform the way that you market your IT business. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you found it useful. Obviously, there are different, what's the word I'm looking for, views on these type of LinkedIn automation tools. Hopefully, I've shown you an alternative way that you can use it without annoying people. Anyway, take it easy.